right, Viola's here is your second part of River Song. This is starting at measure 20, and we're going to go up to measure 39. And actually, the first thing I want to do is put your viola down for a minute, because we need to clap some rhythms out. Okay, so I'm looking at measure 24. So the first part is a rhythm that you're familiar with from earlier in the piece, dotted eighth, 16th, eighth note. But then look at the second half. We have a 16th note, dotted eighth, eighth. So he's flip-flopping those first two notes, the first two rhythms. So the first part, our first three notes, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, we were playing that earlier. But then the next three notes are going to go 1 and 3, 1 and 3, like that. So when you put them together, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 6. Again, it'll go 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, like that. So let's try playing just that measure for a minute. Give your viola. Okay, so here's 24. Be careful the bowing. We're slurring down 2, 1 single up, and then again slurring down 2 and 1 single up. So here's measure 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so it's not quite like a grace note, but it kind of feels like that. That's where we get this kind of lilting, almost Irish-sounding kind of rhythm going on. So let's try that again at 24. Ready, set, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6. Okay, and again, I would suggest using a fourth finger. It's going to make it easier and sound nicer too. Okay, the next part we should look at before we do this whole thing is measure 26. You do get some true grace notes in here. On the second half of the measure, you have a grace note going from a 2 to a 4. Again, use a fourth finger. So let's look at 26. We're going like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what's the difference between the two? Not a whole lot. The first one at 24 was a true measured counted 16th going to a dotted eighth. This one is just a little flick, just a flick up to your fourth finger. So 1, 2, like that. So it's just a little quicker. But otherwise it's basically the same thing. And then in 28, your grace note goes down, this time from an F sharp to an E. So let's try 26, or sorry, 28. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like that. Okay, so nothing too crazy. One other spot before we run this section, looking at the end of measure 25, careful that's a D sharp low 1. And you're going to go right up, just move it up to a regular 1 for measure 26 for that E. Okay, so let's give this a shot. Here's measure 20 at the animato. Animato, more animated. We're moving a little faster here. And we also have a high 3 coming up, that C sharp that's marked in the second measure at 21. All right, here's 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Stretch. Stretch again. Like that. All right, so that's the whole section. Notice that there's a rallentando at 30. Then we go back to our original tempo at 32. There's a molto ritardando at 38, so we're slowing way down with that fermata. And then the next video is going to start you up at 39, where it goes into the faster rustic part. But that is that middle section. So go back, rewind, do it a couple times, and you should be just fine with part 2.